All right, Paul, welcome to LifeFlix with Uncle P. And thank you so much for accepting my request to join this interview. So you are my first guest on the series of
I'm
LifeFlix,
excited. Yes, I'm
on the,
excited.
on the, on the series of LifeFlix with Uncle P. So LifeFlix with Uncle P is basically an interview series where we interview real people and share real stories. So for those of you joining us, thank you so much. Please stay tuned because we are going to learn a lot from our amazing guests. All right, so my first question
Still
for you
fingers
is,
crossed.
oh yeah, fingers crossed. So let's talk about your tertiary education. So you
Mm,
studied at Unilag.
yes.
You studied chemistry. Is it? I think pure chemistry,
Yeah,
pure
pure
and
and apply.
applied chemistry. Yeah. So my question is, how did you juggle both academics and content creation? How did you go about it? How did you keep up with deadlines, academic deadlines, events, attending events, content creation, and all of that? How did you juggle both?
So, um, hmm. So I actually started creating content in 2020, which is such a cliche here for any content creator. The take of 2020 when there was COVID and stuff. That's when I started. And
Yeah.
I remember it was during the lockdown, and I think we were on strike. That
Yeah.
long strike. So that was when I started creating content, right? But I wasn't really creating content when I entered school. I wasn't creating content as much when I was in school. I think I started creating content, or rather, I started investing my time in content when year three internship,
Okay.
right? Because thank God now that I'm having this conversation. Because last night I went on a whole, I just went to go and watch all of my videos from when I started, honestly. And I
Yes, I
did a
did
mess
too.
on my
I
story.
did.
I did a mess on my story, right? But I know that um, it's it is actually so stupid of me to have forgotten the timeline. But I wasn't early on in school, year one, year two. I wasn't. I was focused on school, right? It wasn't intentional. It was just I think I got bored. I'm the kind of person that if I'm doing something over and over again, I before I even while I'm even doing it, I'm bored. Like I'm looking for something else to do. I'm looking for another thing that can spark joy, right? So I think then I think it was in year three I got a new phone. Now I was very tired of my camera quality, and most of the time I was only creating content when I was at home. So yes, I was creating content essentially year one and year two and year three during the holidays. That was when I could only create content, right? Because again, I was in Unilag hostel, and if you know male hostels, it's not the best
Have a
environment
nice time.
to create
All right.
content, right? So I was mainly creating content during the holidays. Then it was until so I got a new phone, and then that was my motivation to start creating content again. Because the reason why I took a break was because I was like, this camera quality. I think let me try to remember. I was using, I think an MTN Android phone. Was it Nokia? I think it was Nokia. One Nokia Android phone. I mean I made do with what I had, which I'm glad I did because that taught me a lot of things, right? But like I said, I get bored easily. So I was like, this camera quality, I don't like it. I would just stay off content creation, right? Then I got a new phone. That was my motivation to start. But I didn't rush into it, right? I still took my time, even though I was doing like content I was freelancing for like other people and stuff. So it was until year three, and I was also trying to get on TikTok, right? Because Instagram was my safe haven. Like I'm still a Instagram. I go ad with Instagram. I wanted to get on TikTok because honestly, that was like the crazy thing there. So I started creating content during my internship. I started creating content actively again during my internship in year three. And that was when surprisingly the video just blew up. Right? So now to your question. Sorry, I just wanted to remember Alpha.
It's fine. It's fine. It's
Then
fine.
so your question with juggling school and work. Honestly, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all. But one thing I did I led with was you prioritize, you find time to do what you actually want to do or what you actually like to do, right? So if I know that I can't meddle school with content, content will take a bit of a break, just a tiny break, or maybe I'll just batch create, right, and drop, and then I focus on school. So honestly, it wasn't easy. I didn't advise anybody to work while they're in school. I had to because I had my reasons. But you would always find your balance, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you are very passionate about content, you would always find your balance. So yeah, I just tried to. This one is what is more pressing now. Let me give this more attention. And I mean, while content is not slagging, right? Content still has to do so. I just find time to balance. So yeah, it was tough. It wasn't easy, but I did it, and I'm out.
All right. Thank you. So it's good to know that you applied balance because why when I was an undergraduate, I didn't even work. I didn't go into content creation, but it was hell. Not to talk of someone, juggling.
Guys, I mean, again, one thing again with that kind of situation is that you, I mean, except you have goals, you have a particular goal you're trying to meet with school. I wasn't pressurized to do, so well. Like I was already over pure and applied chemistry for like year 3. I was really like, oh, I don't know if this is what I want to do, right? But content sort of helped me, honestly. I'm not gonna lie, helped me in a way that I just knew that, oh, after school I still have something secured, right? So I didn't apply pressure on both ends. I was just showing up for both of them how I could, and yeah, I won at the end of the day.
All right, thank you. So, while you were talking about um, how am I going to put it? How you started content creation. You talked about a phase of your journey when you blew in quotes. So my question is,
Sorry,
in your,
I get that.
I said you mentioned there was a time you said, I think you said you made a video and then the video went viral, or maybe
Yeah.
some video went viral. So in your content creation journey, can you share like a breakthrough moment where your hustle started paying off? Like what exactly, you know, led to people knowing Paul Iremide. I want to watch that guy's video. That guy's video makes me laugh. What exactly led to that breakthrough? Is it videos? Is it connect? Would you say they were just videos, or maybe you were appearing in other people's skits or content? What exactly?
I mean, it wasn't actually when my video blew up on
Oh,
TikTok, right? That I mean, like I said, I've always been creating content on Instagram, and I already had an audience. Even though I think we were like 2K, which is 2,000. I had like 2,000 followers, right? I already had like people would already tell me, oh my goodness, you have talent, like you have talent. So even at times now, I can't miss like 2K followers. But I had an audience that believed in something that I didn't necessarily see.
I think you were only lip syncing then, right?
Yes, I was lip syncing then, right? And there was just this, people would have literally tell me that, oh, like I cannot wait for a big break. You're so talented. So I feel like from that moment, I I already had I already had some sort of effects on that small amount of people that I had. I mean, I even though my audience was like really small, like really big people followed me, like Timmy and I remember I did one of his video and he gave me a follow and I was like, okay. So I think from even before I started creating content on TikTok, because it was when I started creating content on TikTok that okay, everything blew up and then the facial expression stuff was a thing, right? But even before then, I already had like that ideal audience. So yeah.
All right, thank you. So let's talk about networking because the role of networking amongst content creators cannot be overemphasized. So how do you network with people in your field? How do you network at events or how do you go about networking with fellow content creators?
So honestly,
And
I
how
don't
sorry,
think I'm the
sorry,
best. I,
sorry. And how do you sustain the relationship?
so I actually don't think I'm the best person to answer that question because I can be quite anxious and shy in a social setting, right? But what I do is just honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Let me just say the truth. I don't. At times, I'll
Confession
be.
time.
Sorry.
I said confession time.
Yes, I honestly don't really. I mean, I think networking and collaboration is like very important, right? But I can just be very shy in like what you said now in maybe an event or something. I mean, except maybe we've interacted in the comments or maybe I really admire your work, right? And usually when you meet fellow content creators in events like that, you honestly don't even because your work is already like quite public, right? And I honestly don't think it's a big deal because at times I see it in a way where if somebody were to see me in an event and they wanted to say hi, it's like please come and say hi. Like I really like I want to meet you. I want to hear like what you have to say, right? So I think that I mean that is a tip to networking because at the end of the day, I don't think you will be hostile to anybody coming to say hi to you at an event. Oh my god, I've seen your work, right? I think that is one way to go about it. But honestly, for me, I can be quite shy, and I just try. I mean, again, right? In that kind of setting, there's a bit of awkwardness, there's tension in the hair, and you really need to know what you want to say to the person, right? Before you
Of course.
approach. So things like that. If I don't know what I need to say, if I don't know what I want to say to you, I don't know what I'm gonna approach you. Except maybe it's a networking event, right? But because again, you also want to pick people that you want to network with, right? You don't just want to go and network with a random content creator that maybe isn't in your niche or would not contribute anything, or you guys don't even see how your work can come together. So I feel like these kind of things you sort of figure it out, right? It's honestly not big of a deal. But I know that one tip for me is I'll put myself in the other person's shoe. If you were going to come up to me to say hi, I think I would be um, I was very open minded to that. So I understand the fear and the tension of being in a room with situations like that. But yeah, um, it's not big of a deal. We're in the same industry, so. But if you really don't have, because sometimes people will just come up to you and then what the conversation is not so productive, and you can feel that this person they don't even, or maybe they don't even know you, or they mistake you for somebody else, or they mention something that
What
is
if what if
entirely
they are
not true.
starstruck?
Sorry, what if
What if they were starstruck?
starstruck? Then you make the situation hard for both of us, honestly. You make it hard for both of us. Um, honestly, I get it, but you you don't want to embarrass yourself at the end of the day. right? You don't want to
And then
embarrass yourself in any case.
you said there's something you said. You said um, while trying to network, you should also be careful not to maybe um, mingle with people who are not necessarily in your niche. But what if networking with them connects you to people who are in your niche? Have you thought of that? Because people who are also not, who are probably not in your niche might have contacts with those who are in your niche. How about that?
So what I meant by that is that I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I'm not saying that your niche has to align before you can network with them, right? I just feel like with networking and stuff, you obviously have to think about it, right? And be calculative and be strategic about it, right?
I,
So
I,
if somebody is in my niche and I know that they are friends with somebody that I would want to work with, I mean, of course, that is a perfect situation, like, yeah, to go and say hi to the person and start a conversation and stuff. But I mean, at the end of I mean, I feel like it goes without saying, right? If you want to network with somebody, it has to, it also has to benefit you in a way. So I think it's a strategic kind of stuff, but it's sometimes very important as well. So yeah.
Thank you so much. For an introvert like me, networking can be very, very stressful. Sometimes I just feel
I
like,
get it.
ah, they need to
But
network.
the thing with it is because it's very important, right? And because now you know that, oh, it can be stressful for you and you can be anxious. You have to think about it in a different way that takes the anxiety out. So that's your best bet, because at the end of the day, you can't collaboration opens doors for you to also tap into that person's audience and person to tap into your audience.
Yeah.
And that's ways of you putting yourself out there. Um, I remember the first. I mean, yes, I saw the first video I ever made with them Jay on here, and the way. And honestly, you don't even have to. You don't have to meet people in public settings to network with them. I mean, DMs are open, right? If you're anxious to say X someone at an event, you can always reach out to them in the DMs. Now, hopefully, they see your request. But I remember my first content with Gionne, for example. It was like very early on that he stumbled on my content and he commented, and I was like, wow. So that was when we sort of hit it off. Now I'm literally working on a show, like I'm part of his team for his new show that he's doing now. So that was one situation. So it doesn't have to always be in person, right? It can always be from the DMs, or you just showing so much interest in their work. At the end of the day, is strategy. So yeah, may the Holy Spirit give us direction.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Pastor Apostle Paul.
I beg you. I beg.
All right. You've said so much about your content creation journey, and I'm sure you
Yeah,
must have encountered several challenges
of course.
in your journey. So I'd like you to tell us one major challenge you faced in this content creation journey and how you navigated. Or should we put it this way? No, no, let's put it that way. We want you to tell us one major challenge you
Okay,
faced and how you.
I would say being consistent, like always showing up, and um because I mean at some point as a content creator you would grow, right? Um and it would now start to feel like work.
Hmm.
I feel like for me it's consistency, because I want to be able to take a break
Yeah.
sometimes. I would like I definitely want to not, because I've learned about myself like a lot from this process, right? I don't work great under pressure. I can be overwhelmed real quick. and those are triggers for being inconsistent.
Mm.
So one thing I struggle with mostly is being consistent, and honestly, I still struggle. I struggle with it till now. Like, I don't think I posted any video the entire week last week because of the amount of work that I had to do. But while I was away, I tried to batch create, and that worked for me. So this week, videos are gonna be, you people will be seeing me every day of the week. Take me like that. Maybe next week you will not see me again.
No,
But
please. We want
but
more of you.
staying consistent is something that I struggle with. And if you've experienced like just making one video or coming up with a concept and it blows up, and trying to like keep at that pace, you realize how difficult it is. But just showing up every day I think is the craziest thing. But yes, and again, you would have to treat content as work, right? But then you need to find a sweet spot where it's work, but you're still having fun, and so it doesn't feel like work, even though you're putting in the work. So that's it.
Yeah. What is that word? I'm trying to remember.
What's that?
I'm trying to remember your major point, like the word consistency. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, consistency.
Consistency can be a great challenge. Sometimes I look at creators like John, Diary of a Kitchen Lover, and I'm like, ah, ah, how do people keep up with this? Okay, one
They
second.
call it. They call that it. It is. I mean, it's a level of dedication, and let us also not forget that, which is not an excuse, right? At the end of the day, is that like for example, the two names that you just mentioned, they actually have a team.
Okay, okay, okay.
They have a team, right? So pick your
Oh,
point, right? And you just have to, because again, it is work, right? You have to sit down and put some sort of structure. So even if it's just you, that is, you're the one creating the content, you're the one shooting, you're the one editing, you're the one doing everything, you would also have to create a structure that works for you. So the structure that works for me now is, once I get the idea, I'm shooting it. I'm shooting it straight up. If I can't, then unfortunately, if maybe I can still shoot the idea eventually later, works. But I've been in situations where, I can't shoot right now. Like, I just worked and I need to take a break. So what works for me is batch creating, and once the idea comes, shoot it immediately.
thank you. Back to the, and once the idea comes, I saw a video that Diary of a Kitchen Lover posted last week where she said she had been creating content consistently for the past 7 years, like every day. She said, "Wow, ah,
It's if you like. I remember when she came on,
that's
right?
mind
That
blowing."
was when I was able to like go through like, you can just scroll and see, oh, when last day posts. I was like, wow, people, well done, though, well done. Then again, I mean, I feel like all of these things, right? You One thing that will definitely keep you standing for longer, and it's just remember why you started. Remember why you started. Staying true to yourself, even though it feels like, because of course, even though she says she's been creating content consistently, there will be times where, because again, you have to look at the kind of content that their matter is making. We are not the same people, and we don't. And even if we create content, we don't create the same kind of content. So you would find on a page where some of them are very professional, some of them are just like chilled, some of them is green screen. So you need to be very, very, you need to be full of yourself. if that makes any sense. You have to be so grounded in self that even though there's all of this motivation around and you're feeling down and everything feels like it's low, you have to always stay grounded and remember why you started this and what is motivating you and why you are doing this. That is the only way, because I'm really close to John here, and I think his work ethic is crazy. And the only reason why I decided to, I didn't have a choice, man. Let's say I had a tiny choice. But the reason why I decided to join his team for his new show is I like his work ethic, and I can be a bit laid back when it comes to content. Like I want to create content when I feel like creating content. But now that I'm seeing that, oh, it's the actual work, and I want to treat it as work, right? Because there's a lot of money in content creation. Hello. I think I need to put in some structure and just put my back into it and see how this works, and not be as lazy as I used to be. So I'm steadily tapping from Jay right now. Right? He's always been the motivation, and it's just like, wow, like. Why are you on my screen? Like
you're talking from my.
Can you get out of my screen? He's always doing something or the other. But yeah, it's just find those motivations, but then don't let it derail the reason why you start, or like the true essence of why you even started creating content. Because then if you're misled, then you lose touch of where you started, and it would now start even feeling like actual work. Like I feel like the most successful content creators right now are people that are doing it out of sheer passion. It has to have so much passion that even if the numbers are not great, or like brands are not reaching out, you are still creating it because the content is what you are here for, right? That's just it, honestly. As cliche as it sounds. That's it.
Okay, and then thank you very much. But aside the points you've mentioned, I think the major thing that should drive us is our audience. You're not just making this content for the air. You're not making it for animals. You're making it for human beings, because most times content creators, they get testimony. I said testimony. They get feedback from their audience, telling them that, oh, I was not feeling well, but when I watched the same thing with what I told you, when I watched your video, it brightened my day and all of that. So at times when you do not feel like creating content, I think that kind of feedback, or that type of the testimonies you've received from your audience should drive you into creating more content.
That is a good drive, and it's also such a thin line to making content out of sheer validation. Because again, you don't want to create the content for the validation that you get, because then that can sort of derail you in a way, right? But then again, I get that feedback is very important, like, but still, you still have to be careful not to now make it solely about the audience, because you can honestly lose yourself. One great example is maybe I'm quite feminine, and I can sort of like maybe use my hands a lot in my videos, and some of my videos have gotten to the wrongest parts of TikTok, where it's like, oh, why is it doing like that, or just like nasty comments here and there. Right? That can sort of push someone to think twice before they put a video, or maybe you are editing a video like, I'm using my hands too much. That's now another example where you're not necessarily now making that for that audience, right? You're making it for yourself. So yeah.
I did make a mistake when I told my audience yesterday that they are going to be in for a lot of lessons.
When I saw that, I was like, hey, going to come and say,
It
But
feels like you're a
I'm
professor already.
learning. I mean, even with some, I'm learning from myself.
Mm.
Surprisingly, just like yeah,
It's not
see you
easy.
in the world.
So away from content creation now, let's
Okay,
talk about NYC. So
let's go about
Jesus,
what?
NYC.
Hey
So
God.
Jesus.
No. I
We
don't
are
recommend.
Jesus. How is it
I don't
going?
recommend. See. I'm going to a lot. I do not recommend. Right. The concept of just not having of because I like to be in control of my life to a certain degree, right? And NYC feels like you're almost not in control.
I know, right?
It feels like you're almost not in control. You have to go for CDS. You have to apply to a PPA. If your PP like for example, the place I was posted to, right? When I got there, they said that they are no longer in operation.
Oh, God.
Um, I had to go back to local government to file letter of reposting, letter of complaint, took a picture of the place, then took my request letter of where I want to work. Now I'm hoping that the request letter I sent to them now, they are on NYC radar. Because if they are not there, they would now have to now post it somewhere else. It's just I don't recommend. I don't think anybody should do NYC. It's not. Even not because of my mom and dad. I would not be here. I would not be in this situation I'm in. Well, but I don't recommend. So far, I've not really. I don't have a CBS yet. I don't have a CBS. Yeah, and I've done one clearance essentially, but that's alone. And I also didn't stay in camp because I couldn't book. There was no way I was going to stay in camp. There was no way I was going to stay
So
in camp.
between Lagos, wait, so between Lagos traffic and NYC clearance, which one is more stressful? Have you done
I've not
wait,
faced.
have you done any clearance?
Yes, I have, but
Okay.
it was. I went. I went pretty late actually. You know, clearance is like from first to 10th of the month.
Yeah.
I went on like August 11th.
Ah,
I'm gonna do my clearance, and I think I was basically the only one there, and they were even supposed to query me, but thank God for the grace of God in my life. But I did my clearance. It was really smooth, but yeah, I've not experienced any bad clearance. But the headquarters the local government that I'm going to now, it's here, sir. I heard that there are plenty
yes,
there.
so I heard that.
So
I heard that too.
I heard there are plenty there. So I don't even know. I really don't know. I really, because I see, yeah, I don't like stress. I do not like stress at all. And I already have so much work to do. That NYC is just, it's not the cutest situation to be in right now. But I mean, it's already. How many months? How many months have you done? I mean, they've paid me for 2 months already.
More. But they increased the guy's salary now. Unlike
Yes,
during my time.
I started on 77K as I should.
Ah,
Any
ah.
money that I
Over.
started on 7. I started on 77K. Please do. My God knows that I know like suffering.
Okay, so we have a comment from someone. He said, "Don't try it next month to be grateful you were not queried for that. Even NYC
Don't mind
better
friendly
money.
me.
Even
Friendly me
NYC
rest
better
in Jesus' name. Rest. Rest. How is the rest of the
I said in 2023 and then finished in 2024. Ah,
yeah.
that scheme should be scrapped. That scheme nearly took
Do
my
you know
life.
do you know what's crazy? I've actually not gone through like I'm I'm living my life as though I'm not even doing anyway. So I've actually not even gone through any. I mean, I'm sure you went through the whole 9 years. You did camp. Maybe you were even an ESCO.
He says, yes, I
And
was
you
in
look like
OBS.
somebody that will be an ESCO. Yeah, I'm looking at you. You
Yes,
look
I
like
was.
somebody. You're an
I
ESCO.
was.
I said it. You look like an ESCO.
But I
So
enjoyed camp.
I.
Though.
Hmm?
I enjoyed camp. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't disagree, but I wouldn't have enjoyed it. So I would not have enjoyed it because I
What
didn't
makes you
want to.
think
Sorry,
what makes you think you would not have enjoyed it?
because I didn't want to. I wasn't looking forward to it at all. So I'm already
It's,
like,
I think it's mainly because of what you've heard about camp. Because you didn't even stay, you didn't even participate for at least a day or two.
do you know? Do you know why I think I won't have enjoyed camp? Right? I went to military secondary school.
Oh, okay.
I went to Nigerian Navy Secondary School at Belkuta. So
Ah,
that is one trauma to unpack. Let me tell you how I escaped camp.
okay.
Let me tell you. I mean, I went with a medical reports and stuff. I, and that one separately is a testimony because I think I went on the second day of registration.
Okay.
The way I was able to connect with somebody that helps me jump a major queue, I
Wow.
jumped 2 queues straight to my platoon.
Ha.
And I mean, because they already tagged me the medical case, it was a bit
Okay.
faster. Now, while I was done with my registration, because I was waiting for my other friend that also came to medical reports, wasn't going to stay in camp. So she couldn't finish our registration because she came. I think she got to camp a bit late. Then I got there like quite early. I just saw this military men blowing whistle that everybody should go to the parade ground.
Digu.
And memories from secondary school just came, and I was like, yeah, Wendy, if you're here, I'm sorry. I left her and went to the gates because my bag was at the gates.
Why did you betray her like
Ordered
that?
my ride and came home.
Ha. Omolomo.
So for me, I feel like if seeing that many people in uniform would just be very traumatizing for me. So no, I wouldn't have enjoyed it. Thank you for coming to my platform.
Sincerely speaking, they were nice. And from what I've been hearing, soldiers all around the camps they are not they are not terrors. They are not terrorists. They are
If you
friendly.
say so, if you say so, when I was terrorized in secondary school, I can't deal again.
Well, camp has passed. That one has passed. You can't go to camp again.
Again.
All right.
I
So
can't go
let's
to
talk
camp
about
again. Like,
let's talk about the situation of the country. We don't even know. I like that. Which we don't even know what angle to pick because if we should talk about education, in fact, we are going to spend 5 hours here. If we are going to talk about welfare, talk about the agri sector, talk about other sector, we are going to spend so much time talking about the ills that have been done in this country. But let's just talk about youths generally trying to thrive in this country. It feels like this country does not support youth thriving because, for instance, parents, when you tell your parents that, let's assume, let's assume I want to get married now, and then I visit my in-laws, and they say, "Oh, welcome, Kwelumi. My name is Kwelumi. Okay, well, welcome, Kwelumi. So, what do you do?" If you say, "I'm a content creator," they are going to say, "Excuse me, what's that?" Then, okay, if the partner manages to explain what a content creator does, they'll be like, "Is that what you want to use to take care of our daughter?" So, I feel like people see whenever they see, not even content creation alone, remote work, everything that youth engage in, they see it as something that doesn't make sense. They feel like you are wasting away, you are wasting your time. So what do you think people within our age range can do to, would I say, educate the elder ones or to make them prove that what I'm doing what I'm doing puts food on my table and can also sustain me?
I think first of all, I mean, regarding to your question, I feel like I don't I don't primarily I don't primarily do work or live my life based on people's validation or I'm not trying to prove anything to anybody, first of all. So I'm not trying to prove anything, right? And so I mean the context you gave, especially marriage, right? And I feel like you're coming from the point of people who don't take young people seriously. I feel like that because again you can't live your life based on trying to explain or shalaye. I feel like this is a thing where you'd have to give it time. People, the older generation have to sort of see because with them as well, right? They also were at a different wave from their own parents, and only time could figure out that could let them know that okay, it's not the only professions are not being a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer, right? Because I mean that was the way for them now. I feel like only time, honestly, will tell Alpha whatever we are sticking our neck would result into, right? I don't think anybody tough, honestly, right? Because again, easier said than done, but you can't live your life based on validation and try to prove or try to explain yourself to people. It's like we are living in such a tough time in this country, right? And it just makes it just makes us more Nigerian because we have an attitude of just getting, trying to see how a situation can be better for us, right? So we don't think of the collective or how maybe the decisions I'm making right now is affecting somebody else. But honestly, that is a tough question. That is really a tough
But,
question.
but
But I don't.
I agree with you. I agree with you, especially for the part where you said we should give them time. We should give it time, because of course, for someone like you, I'm sure those around you are already they are comfortable with what you do because
Oh
you are.
no, my parents have given up. They've given up. There's no way out.
No, no,
No,
no,
they've
no.
given up.
Wait. Hold on, Paul. It's still part of what I'm saying. At least it's not like they've completely given up. But they are no longer troubling you. So,
I mean, of
and
course,
you are no longer discouraged because no one is disturbing you, no one is threatening you that, oh, if you don't stop that thing, I will not pay your school fees again, blah, 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 blah. That's
I
another angle.
mean, I mean, in that regard, because honestly, when I started creating content, my parents were not entirely in support, right? But
Okay.
then, I mean, this is like, I mean, we are in a different segment. We are not talking about content creation anymore, right? We are talking about, I mean, also going back to what I said about, I don't think anybody should work in school, but I worked because of certain reasons. Now, my parents were not in full support of content creation early on, and I knew that. And I don't know if I was even thinking long term, but I just knew that um, the only way out of this, and I also learned this from a few content creators that I admired at the time when I started creating content, right? Is you'd have to sort of prove that this thing you're doing can sustain you. So it goes from which honestly the process is so difficult. Like wish I could just expatiate on everything. Because for me, I just started doing stuff for myself. And that over time sort of proved to my parents that because while I was in school I wasn't asking for allowance.
Hmm.
I wasn't asking for allowance anymore, right? I paid for most of my final year
Hmm.
bill, most of them. It's just maybe one like ridiculous expense that I'm like, please, I have parents that better me. Let me go back to them. right? So I could do most things on my own. So again, like I said, time time is the only stuff that would honestly prove and show that this thing I'm doing, I'm actually very passionate about it, and I can, because again, like, it comes from a place of love. At the end of the day, that is the kind of love that they know, right? They are scared for you, and it's like them projecting fear on you, right? Which is the type of love at the end of the day. But you now have to pick and choose, right? And you can't. There are certain things that are definitely out of your control. You can't cry over a spilt milk. Just have to figure it out.
Hmm.
So yes, I don't know if I answered that question, but
Oh, you did. Absolutely, I agree with everything
yeah.
you said. Yeah, so you just have to give them time, just like you said, and you also have to be consistent because you know you need to prove that what you are doing actually works, and
But then
that
that is not the first mindset, right? Because I think when you
yeah,
lead with the mindset of trying to prove or trying to, it can also lead to like some kind of resentment or disrespect.
yeah,
So while I am working, right, and I'm trying to do some things for myself, and honestly, like, this is a great time for young people. There's so much opportunities. There's so much opportunities out there you that you can tap into now. I'm glad that I went to Unilag, because I don't know. I mean, I can't speak for like other schools, right? I'll But I know for one that the opportunities as a Unilag student is just, you are exposed to so much, and the network you.
people call it a social school.
Sorry.
I said people call it a social school. Social.
I mean, Unilag is it's on another level. I don't know how to explain it, because I started working while I was in school. It was crazy, right? But yeah,
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. In fact, you've done, I'm going to I don't know. I should just call you Prof Paul because
thank you.
you
I
really
mean, that's what they
dissected.
call me. That's so cliche. Oh my god, they call me prof at all. I don't know. Where my parents are literally still counting on me to go and do masters, which I'm gonna do, but it would now be something that I actually would use long term, because I'm not going to use chemistry long term.
But I think
That's
I
what's
like that.
difficult.
I
It's
like
hard.
that there are other masters. There are so many masters that relates with this thing we do. Yeah.
I mean, I I have a knack for like marketing, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
I would own business, and that can also relate with creating content that drives sales.
Yeah.
So because even with this content thing and influencing thing, I'm such a workaholic. Like, I like to work. I like to. For example, now, I remember when I was asking that how long is this going to be for? You said 45 minutes. We've been talking for over an hour now. I like to have conversations as well, right? Like, I like things that resonate around human psychology. So when it now comes to content that I'm like easily like adapt to, right? That now makes sense. So I'm for marketing. I'm already thinking. So for masters, I'm already thinking something in marketing or content marketing or digital marketing. Just something that can gel my content, that can make my content stand. Because this is a brand, and I'm trying to build something for myself.
Yeah. Beautiful. I have two more questions for you because our time is fast spent. So I think you've partly answered my next question, and it's mainly about your advice for people who are currently grinding but they are yet to see results. Yeah. What's your advice for them?
Um.
Okay, let's narrow it down to content creators. Content
Yeah.
creators, what?
I mean, of course, that was where I was even going to, because it's only content creation that may know. I feel like, and I think I've even said it earlier, right? Um, Honestly, it's easier said than done, right? And for somebody that is still, I mean, I'm still very much, I still see myself as I've not gotten to where I want to be. It's still a journey. I mean, years before now, I was looking at moving on from like, as sorry, essentially growing from let's say, for example, my 2K followers. Now I have 17K on Instagram. I want more followers. I want more audience. I want more views. Right? There is you have to follow through the process. You have to follow through the process. And this always applies to me. So I always around the clock, if you ask my friends, what's up, how are you doing? You would always hear me say, oh, I have so much work to do. And I'm always editing videos. I always have a long list of videos to edit, right? And as a content creator, in the process of filming and editing, that is the process, right? That is a process on its own where you don't know. I mean, you might have an idea of the outcome of what you want it to be, but the process of filming and editing and then coming out of that and then now seeing that the results, oh my goodness, is great, like it's blowing up in people's faces and people actually like it, there's feedback. It's like that could be a constant reminder for every content creator that even if right now it feels like I'm alone or there's like nobody reaching out or brands are not reaching out or I'm seeing somebody's numbers and I also would like to be in that place. I feel like you can't cheat the process, especially if you want to last. And if what you're doing, you're very passionate about it, you have to follow through the process. That's just the simplest answer. I remember right now, I'm going to say something right now.
Yeah, I didn't get you. You are what?
Okay, I said right now, like I was going to say something, right? I've noticed that my followers on TikTok, I say TikToks, my followers on TikTok is dropping, like drastically. The highest I got to was 66.2. Now I think I'm 63.1. Now that is because um I'm slowly moving away from what what people know me for. I mean, when my video blew up, right? I want to be a bit more relatable. I I'm trying to build a brand out of this thing, and people that maybe had followed me then followed me for that particular kind of content. And honestly, I'm bored. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to be tagged as the Bobrisky roommate, or I only use funny sounds, right? Or trendy sounds. There's so much more.
Yeah.
There's so much more to me. I'm interested in acting. I'm interested in doing podcasts. I love conversations. I want to do podcasts. My facial expressions are great. So I think acting is something that. So I'm always finding something better. So right now, which leads me to where I was going to, right? I mean, when I started noticing the drop, I was like, oh, do I need to push more content for people to follow me? But the drop kept coming. What I learned from that is that time and season, honestly, right? And it's great that these people are following, so that then I know who my people are and they can grow slowly. Because I hit a mark and it just went up. And now it seems like it is coming down slowly now, right? Now, this is a point where I can now think properly on what on the next big thing to do. Sometimes when it's like everything is slow, if the passion, if you're very passionate about your work and you know where you're going to and what you want, because I know what I want to be, I know what I want to be said about me when you hear my name, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to follow through with. Even though all of these side distractions are, people are following me like crazy, or I'm stagnant for now. I know I've been stagnant before. It's going to move up. So I mean, it's not like I said it doesn't phase me, or I'm not. I'm not just as fixated on things that I cannot control.
Hmm.
Essentially. So
Thank you
yeah.
so much. We have a comment from Onyemarime Joe. He said, "Why not?" I think he's talking about your
So
master's.
why not do a health related course? It's best for you. I think I know what's best for me. I think me. I know what's best for me. I get it, but I think I know what is best for me. I don't resonate. Content creation is is something that I've always wanted to do. So once I got the opportunity to do it, and see, it is paying off, right? It's paying off
Of course,
slowly but surely.
it's paying off.
Our friend
Plus,
said, "I'm sorry. What are we talking about? We are talking about me.
we are talking
I'm the
about a
main
lot
character.
of things.
I'm the main
And
character."
finally,
Yeah.
your birthday is coming in a few days' time. So how are we celebrating it? Where's the party at?
There's no family. Shepherd too. Me
Oh,
Shepherd
Shepard,
too.
do you know that Mr.
Me
Latin
Shepherd
video?
Kosovo.
You know that Mr. Latin video? Me, Shepard, Kokon.
Shepherd T. Shepherd T. I need to go and look for that video right away because I want to teach it. I want to teach it in my post. But yes, passion, um, strong sense of self, because there's so much around you. Your environment plays so much roles in like how far you go. So strong sense of self and passion, and honestly, getting the bag
Yes, so
because we all.
communication. All right, we've come to the end of this conversation, and I'm super duper grateful to you,
Thank
Ire,
you
for
so much for
coming.
having me. I'm glad
Thank you.
I could do this.
Thank you so much. So we've talked about a whole lot from how you started content creation, your journey, your challenges, your NYC journey, the brouhaha that comes with it, and being a Nigerian youth in this time, and so many other things. But few days or few weeks time, I'm going to post this full video, the full version of this video on my YouTube page. And for those of our audience that missed some parts of the conversation, you would have um, the full update, the full version on my YouTube page. So please follow my page for you to get more.
Yes, so please follow.
Follow us, Edakun. So
Follow
thank you so
that.
much for this, for your time. I really
Yeah, thank
appreciate you.
you.
And
Thank
happy
you for
birthday in
calling me.
advance. I wished you
Thank
first.
you.
I wished you first.
I
So
mean, you're not
even
the first.
I'm
I mean,
not
you're
the
actually
first,
not the first, but yeah. You're the first, but okay. You're actually
but
not the first.
I should be part of. I should be part of the first people that will get cake because it should
Yes,
be by.
yes. You are definitely part of the first.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining. I am very very
Thank you guys for joining. Believe me,
thank
I
you.
see you. Thank you, Oye. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you,
Edochima.
Yanoluwa. Thank you,
Thank you to
Tega. Thank
me.
you,
Thank you, Alfred. Oh my goodness. Oh, thank
Raman.
you, Oh,
I
Tommy was here. Thank you, Tommy was scripted. Oh
thank
my
you.
goodness. I'm so flattered. Wow.
Thank
People
you.
were here. I wasn't even looking good.
Thank you. I really enjoyed this conversation. I'm not gonna lie. Thank you
Yeah,
so
thank
much.
you so
And
much. I
I
really
wish you all
enjoyed it.
the best. Thank you for always making us
Thank
happy.
you.
Wish you all the
Oh, thank you so much. And I wish this show greater heights. I'm glad to be the first, and I'm sure that Oma pick up.
Amen.
One tap. Oma
Ashiko,
pick up.
Ami.
But yeah, I'm
All right.
really
Have a great
excited.
night.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
so flattering. I'm the first guest. So that
Ah.
means I am. Is this stitch? They used to call it. I'm itched. I'll be stitched in history.
Yeah. Yeah. It shows how special you are actually.
Oh, oh, thank you. I'm going to
Otosh.
cry.
Otosh. Otosh.
Yes, yes, yes. That one slap. Oh, hit
Thank
me.
you so much. Thank you. Have a great
Yeah,
night.
thank you, sir.
All right.
You too. I have work tomorrow, so
Uh,
gotta go. All
are we
right.
sure?
Bye, guys.